Good afternoon, everyone. This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews, and I am your literary ambassador. And today we have a children's author showcase today. I have 15 wonderful, diverse children authors on the panel today. Get your cash apps and your PayPals ready for Christmas gifts for the children. So get your grandkids, your kids, your stepkids, your nieces and your nephews, and buy a book today as the gift of reading. And today we're going to start with Lavetta. Lavetta, I want you to tell us about yourself, your books, and where we can purchase your books.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Outlaw, author of Tickle Mites, The Adventures of Rar, Rocky, AJ, and Romello, and Butternut Adventures, Gamma Loves Strawberries, Just Like Ariel. And I've also written a children's rap song called Candy Swag that is on all music venues. You can download it or you can purchase a CD from me. I have a website, www.ticklemitesfranchise.com. You can email me at rebecca@ticklemitesfranchise.com. And these here are my Tickle Mites.
Can you tell us about your two books that you have, the Tickle Mites and Butternut Adventures?
Say again, I'm sorry.
Can you tell us about your books?
Sure. Tickle Mites, The Adventures of Rar, Rocky, AJ, Romello is a children's chapter book. And we talk about subjects like divorce, racism, bullying, stereotyping, giving, and kindness. They're candy characters. They sing a jingle whenever a child is sad to make that child happy. Do you want to sing the jingle, guys?
Yes.
Sing it loud. So when they sing that jingle, they turn into candy and it makes the child laugh. Butternut Adventures, Gamma Loves Strawberries, just like Ariel. This is Ariel. I lovingly call her Butternut, and they call me Gamma. And she's this kind, sweet, loving little girl who's very giving. And she wasn't born at the time I wrote Tickle Mites, so she has her own adventures. Are you Butternut? Say Ish Walla Walla Amma. But Butternut has her own language. Only children can understand it. Adults cannot understand it. But somehow she gets her point over because she's a very determined little girl. So you'll see in the book where she gets over the fact that she wants to take her Gamma strawberries because she loves strawberries just like Butternut does.
Where can we purchase your books today?
You can purchase my book on all book venues. My books are at Target.com, Walmart.com. They're on BarnesandNoble.com, BookBaby. You can also, my books, we found out they're in Russia, Chinese, Spanish, and then you can always email me or go to my website.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Next we have Lavetta. Lavetta, can you tell us about some of your books and where we can purchase them today? Next, we have Miss Velma, Dr. Velma, and Kylie. Can you tell us about yourself and your books and where we can purchase them?
Hi, this is Kai Muhammad Temple, who is the person who wrote the book. I am just the co-author to help push it through, and I was just there with her, helping her to walk through the process. So I'm gonna let Kai tell you about her book. Go ahead.
My book is about the little letter K and the boring alphabet line.
What is it about? Can you hear us, Queenie? Can you guys hear us? Okay, tell your story. Okay, tell your story. The little letter K? No.
The little letter K was born in the alphabet line, so she decided to try different positions. Then she went to go outside the line and have some fun. So the letters noticed that she was gone, so they came to look for her. Then big letter A noticed that they were gone, so letter A went to find them. And then at the end, the letters asked big A if they could have fun but still stay in the line. And while they're having fun, they could have their arms, eyes, and legs out, but when they're standing in the line, back in. So I want to learn how to really use their imagination, creativity, and use these letters in the book to work.
How old are you?
I was 6 while I wrote this book, and now I'm 7.
Okay.
Thank you, Queenie, for inviting me.
You're welcome. I have some questions for you. Where do you get your inspiration from?
I get my inspiration.
What happened that day when I was writing and I asked you a question?
You said that what happened if I wrote my book.
Yeah, I was working on my book, and she was sitting next to me on the floor as I was typing, and I asked her if she had an idea for the book. And she said, I do. And my book is going to be about the first letter in my name. And so she began to draw and sketch the character. And as she sketched the character and what the character was doing, I used prompts to ask her what exactly was happening in the story so we could capture the words that we now have in the book. And so that's how it was created.
Okay. What message do you want children to learn from your book?
I want them to learn to use their imagination, their creativity, and learn to write and use these letters in the book to make words.
All right. Thank you so much. Dr.
And the
Bama.
books are available on Amazon. And also you can purchase her book on my website, drbama.com.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Next we have is Joyce.
You did good.
Okay, Joyce on here. You have to read. All right, Katie, you're next. Can you tell us about yourself, your books, and where we can purchase them?
I think I heard you say KP.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you hear me clearly? All right. I'm KP Carter, and I'm an educator and a children's book creator and a workshop leader. For 35 years, I was in public education, and I was even an adjunct professor. I've always kept a journal, but I thank my adult sons for my inspiration to actually publish a book. When they were young, it was difficult to find a book that had images in them that looked like them. So like Toni Morrison said, if you can't find a book, if it's not out there, you need to write it. So that's what I did. And the first book in the series is Summertime with Lizzie B. Hayes. And it's illustrated by David James. It takes place in the 1960s. It's the summer specifically of the 1967 rebellion in Newark, New Jersey. And it's the story of Lizzie, 8-year-old precocious Lizzie, 3 generations of her colorful family, and that summer of the 1967 rebellion in Newark. It was a simpler time. Children rushed home before the lights came on, and many families sat around the table for dinner. But it was also a troubling time, and many of the things that happened then are happening now. And the second book in my series is Lizzie B. Hayes and the Great Camp Caper. And again, I worked with illustrator David James. And this time, Lizzie is on another 2-week adventure. She's away at Girl Scout camp for the first time without any family members. She has to learn how to take care of herself, deal with being away from home, and manage to live with a bully in her cabin. And to top it off, she and the bully get lost on an overnight hike. I wanted to show you just a few of the illustrations. I had everything done in black and white because I wanted children to get the feel of what the 60s was like. I don't know about you, but we didn't have color TV or anything. So everything was in black and white. And that's the feeling I wanted to bring to children. I look at subjects like family love, bullying, social issues, perseverance. And currently I'm working on the 3rd book in the series. And I believe it's important to share the story of the 60s through the eyes of a child. Many people have lots of ideas about what Newark, New Jersey is like, but it was a fun place to grow up. And I share that in my books. You can purchase them on my website at KP Carter Writes, that's WRITES.com. And I also have some fun Lizzie B. Hayes t-shirts. Also, the books are, of course, on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and they're also in ebook and print form.
All right. Out of your years in education, what do you think kids enjoy most about reading?
I didn't understand.
All your years in education, what do you think kids enjoy most about reading?
I think I heard you say, what do kids enjoy most about reading?
Yes.
Well, they enjoy so much. They enjoy seeing themselves in books. They enjoy when they can actually read the book, because sometimes you teach them further than they and be able to read at their level. And they also being ready. I don't care how old children are. They love to hear stories. I went online as well. The children love to hear stories.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, we have Joyce. Joyce, could you tell us more about you, your books, and where we can purchase your books, please?
Hi, did you say Joyce? I'm sorry. Yes, I'm so sorry. Like my connection is really bad. Hi, everybody. I'm Joyce Licorice. And can you guys hear me okay? Okay, good, good, good. My book is called God Has a Paintbrush, and it's available on Amazon right now. My son is right here. He's waving. He's the star of the book. He's one of the characters. My virtual background is cutting him out, but if I move over, you can see him and my grandson are the stars of the book. Essentially, the idea came to me based upon my wonder as a child of how God created all things and just the little questions that my children happen to ask about nature and that sort of thing. I'm a young grandmother. I call myself a grandma. So the stars of the book are my son Jaden, who's 8 years old, and my grandson Mason, who's 4 years old. And Jaden and Mason often wonder about all the beautiful creations they see that God has made. So I wrote this and also incorporated my mother, who's a storyteller and likes to read to the kids. So Big Mama is what they call my mom. She snuggles in close with the boys to tell them about God's wonderful creations. The story is written in rhyme, kind of in a Dr. Seuss type of way. And it essentially explores not just the wonders they see every day, but diversity and inclusion and understanding that God loves all of his creation, no matter the background or their color, and that he created us all equal. So it's not just a faith-based story, but it is a story of inclusivity. It also talks about nature and the seasons and that sort of thing. So just a beautiful little rhyming story. My favorite excerpt out of it is the page where we see all of the kids kind of playing together on the playground, and it just talks about the colors. So I'll just read like one page if that's okay. God's paintbrush is ever busy, darting here and there. He tinted us all shades and gave us all types of hair. Some hair is blonde or yellow, some hair is brown or black. You may even see him shading ginger red hair down a back. Some boys and girls are brown, some boys and girls are white. Some are somewhere in between, some dark and some are light. One thing I know for sure, no matter what the shade, God loves all his creations and the people that he made. And I don't know if you can see although you can see the illustration, but my background's not working. But on the illustration, we have an Asian kid, we've got a Hispanic child, we have an Indian little boy, a blonde little boy, my son, my grandson, and a redhead little girl, all playing together. And essentially, at the end of the day, we are one race, and that is the human race. So if you would like to support by grabbing a copy of this, my son's waving at you guys. Let me see if you can get it. There he is. Say hi. It is available on Amazon right now. Again, the title is God Has a Paintbrush, and my name is Joyce Licorice. Thank you so much for having me on the show today, Queen.
Can everybody hear me? Everybody, I keep going in and out, in and out. Can y'all not hear me?
You're going in and out.
Going in and out. Okay. I'm sorry. Joyce, what inspired you to write this book?
So again, it was more so the kids just wondering about the things God made, and sometimes they get it wrong, right? I'll give you an example. We're driving down the street, and we go past this factory with this dark billowing smoke out, and one of my kids goes, "Mom, is that where God makes the clouds?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not." And so just thinking about, he's laughing, but just thinking about how as a kid, I would look at things and be like, "Man, how did he make that?" And just all the colors and all the beautiful things. We get caught up on the dark side of life, but this is just an exploration of the light and the beauty in God's creation.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next, Terrell. Terrell, tell us about yourself, your book, and where we can purchase your book.
Hello.
Tell us about your book,
This is
about
my
you.
Okay. So my book is about me and my brother autism spectrum and how we are alike and how we're different.
Can you repeat that again? We didn't hear you, baby.
My book is me and my brother and how he's on the autism spectrum and how we're alike and how we're different.
What is it like to be a twin, Terrell?
Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it gets very crazy.
What do you like most about writing your book?
Huh? I can't really hear you.
What is it that you like about writing?
Well, because I'm left-handed, and yeah, left-handeds are very gifted at writing. So, yes.
Okay, tell us where we can find your book to purchase it.
Well, I have a website. It's www.tyrell.com. And also, I have a YouTube channel. It's Twins Tyrell and Tyrese.
All right, thank you, Terrell. Okay,
Yeah.
next we have Kimberly. Kimberly, you can tell us about yourself, your book, and how we can purchase your book.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? All right, great. I am so happy to be here today, and happy holiday season to everyone. My name is Dr. Kimberly Gordon Biddle, and I'm here to tell you about two wonderful books that I wrote that you can get for young children in your life. They are picture books that are appropriate for children ages 4 to 8. And children just love them and they want to hear them over and over again. These books are about Black joy, but they are relatable to all children, no matter who they are. They're about a little girl named LaDonna. And LaDonna Plays Hoops is about basketball. It has the themes of families, traditions, good sportsmanship. And then my second book is LaDonna's Easter in Paris. And this one has the themes of family, friendship, hope, and love across cultures and continents. And so these are my two books. And I also wanted to show you LaDonna's pet frog. So LaDonna loves basketball and she has a pet frog. And she has these adventures. And LaDonna Plays Hoops, she's at a family reunion. And then in LaDonna's Easter in Paris, of course, they take a trip to France. So each book also has sheet music in the back. And if you go to my website, you can hear the music. My website is pinkpearlwriting.com. pinkpearlwriting.com, and you can download the music for free on my website. If you want to purchase the book, you can go to my website as well to purchase the books. And let me show you again the website. Let's see, pinkpearlwriting.com. Then you go to books, and then you go to fiction. And you can find the books, and you can purchase both of them today. If you buy them today, I will send you special goodies to go along with the book. And I will sign the book as well if you get them from my website. You can also get them wherever books are sold. So Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and things like that. Again, the books are LaDonna's Easter in Paris. LaDonna Plays Hoops, sorry. And LaDonna's Easter in Paris. One more time, if you're interested, go to my website, pinkpearlwriting.com. Then choose books and then fiction books, and you can purchase these books. If you want to get them from me with the goodies today and my signature. If not, and when you buy them from me on my website, it goes to PayPal. So you need to have a PayPal account, or you can get them from Amazon or Barnes & Noble. And so if you buy them today from my website, I will send you goodies to go with them, or you can get them from Amazon. If you want to communicate with me afterwards, this is my email, magenta65@msn.com. magenta65@msn.com. Or you can contact me on my website. Again, one more time, the website is pinkpearlwriting.com. pinkpearlwriting.com. Books, fiction. So, I want to thank you for being here today. I want to wish you a wonderful holiday season. And I want to thank Queenie for allowing me to be here today. And I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful week and month. And a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, what are you currently working on right now?
I am currently working on a middle grade novel about a young girl named Elena. That's what I'm currently working on right now. And I'm sort of venturing into middle grade novels versus writing picture books.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, we have next Tasha. Tasha, can you tell us a little about yourself, your book, and where we can purchase them?
Hello, everyone. My name is Latasha Bethay. I am the author of The Historical Adventures of Miles and Nina, and it is available on Amazon. I'm also working on my website, which is divineconnections.com, and that's DAVINE connections.com. So that's where the books can be purchased at this time.
What would you tell children that is different from their classmates if they were different?
Okay, that it's okay to be different, that we are all unique and made by in God's image in the way that He desires for us to be. So everyone is different and unique, and it is okay to be different, and just be proud of who you are with the uniqueness that you have in God.
Is your books translated into another language?
No,
Or
it's
just-
not.
It's just in
No,
English?
it's just in English.
Okay.
And the purpose of the Historical Adventures of Miles and Nina is to teach Black history from a 10-year-old and 13-year-old's perspective. And so what happened, what led to the development of this book, or well, of the series is I'm a playwright. I started off writing plays and doing it in the community. I started running into a lot of young people coming to the plays that did not have a lot of information about Black history. They knew about Rosa Parks, they knew about Dr. King and the impact they made on the community, but they didn't know about Claudette Covens and all the other people that made such an impact. And we are still benefiting from the things that they did during that time. And so in the first book, Miles and Nina is 13, Miles is 10, and they're brother and sister. They like TikTok and Snapchat and all the stuff that kids this age like. And their mom is trying to, and their dad is trying to pass on family history as well as Black history to them. And so what happens, their mother has a hope chest of her grandmother's, and it takes them back into time, the different heirlooms in the hope chest. And so in book number 1, they see the story of, they go back in time and they see the story of the Greensboro Four unfold before their eyes. They see the story of Ruby Bridges and Claudette Covens, and they tell it from a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old's perspective. So when they come back, they're trying to persuade mom that they went back in time, and she was like, no, you didn't, you're crazy, you're tripping. And so now in the second book, Miles and Nina team up to persuade their dad, Nathan, and their mom, Sherry, that time travel really does happen. And so in the second book, the whole family goes back in time. And this time they meet different inventors in Black history. So they meet Garrett Morgan, Madam C.J. Walker, and George Crumb Speck, who is a chef that created the first potato chip. So this is the second book in the series. I am working on book number 3. I plan to have 5 in it, and I hope you all will purchase a copy.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we have Torsha. Torsha, is I'm pronouncing it right? I'm sorry.
That's fine. Hi, everyone. I am Tasha Sullivan, and I live in Texas. I have 2 little girls, ages 7 and 9, who just love to read. And one day my daughters asked me, Mom, why are all my friends at school different colors? So that's when I decided to write my first book, Horse of a Different Color. And it has several illustrations in it where Madison and Morgan go to a ranch, and Madison's birthday, she's having a birthday party and she wants it to be amazing. And I volunteered at a horse ranch with kids with disabilities for the past 15 years. So I really wanted to incorporate horses into the book. And so that's why Horse of a Different Color was, it really resonated with me, and my girls are the characters in the book, and some of her friends are different colors. So this book is about diversity and inclusion, and it really ties into letting the children know that we're like horses. We're all the same. We're just unique, but we're different, and we're many colors. So it just really ties in to let the kids know that we're as one. And so for my second book, it's called, in the series, it's called Horse of a Different Color, The Tallest Kid in the Class. And in this book, it really talks about bullying. And the character in this book, her name is Casey. And you can see some of the illustrations in the book. But the young girl in the book, her name is Casey, and she's being bullied. And so Madison wants to kind of take it upon herself to befriend Casey and to really let her know that it's okay and that she is awesome, just like everybody else, and don't allow herself to be bullied. And so she befriends her, and they go on an adventure together, and they have one of the officers come to the school and talk about bullying and really explain it. So it kind of turns the story around, and some of the kids realize, you know what, I didn't know I was being a bully, and I don't want to be that person. And so it's a really fun story that really walks the kids through. And my intention was in my writing is to talk about subjects that kids are going through right now. So it's kind of easier to understand and break down to them. And also Horse of a Different Color, The Tallest Kid in the Class, is in English and Spanish. So the kids can kind of, learn Spanish if they don't know it. And if they're working on their English, they can also have the Spanish version and work on their English there. And my book is available on Amazon.com, and it's also in, ebook as well. And you can Cash App today at TK Texas, or send me an email at for PayPal at Tasha, TOSHIA @gmail.com, and I will sign a book today and get that sent out in the mail to you on Monday. And also the books won an award this year, Story Monsters for Diversity and Inclusion, and the North Texas Book Festival for bullying. Thanks for having me today.
Congratulations. What are you currently working on right now?
Well, Madison, my oldest daughter, she has been the star of both the books. So now it's time for Morgan, my 7-year-old, almost 8 at the end of the month, to have her time. So we are working on her adventure that she would like to share with the other children of the world, and what learning experience we can teach them. So I'm currently working on that right now.
All right. Thank you. Next, we have our special guest has just arrived. We have Mrs. Marbles and Henry.
Whew, that was some traveling, folks, some traveling to get here. Well, howdy, Queenie. How you doing, Queenie? I can't hear you, Queenie.
I said, I'm fine, Mrs. Marbles. How are you and Henry?
Well, we're doing real good. Henry had to take a nap before we got here. He was feeling a little plucked. A little plucked. I'm sorry I got here late, but life happens. I see a lot of amazing authors up here. And some little folks down there too. Tyrell, you done wrote yourself a book, honey? Tyrell, is his name Tyrell, Queenie? Miss Queenie? Tyrell? Yes. You done wrote yourself a book?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Where are all my other little people that done wrote some books? Is it Ren or is it Cameron? I can't hear you.
Cameron.
Cameron, you done wrote a book too, Cameron?
Yes.
Wowee. I don't even know you, Cameron, and I'm proud of both of y'all, Tyrell and Cameron, little authors. I'm just so tickled pink. I got a pink hat on. I'm tickled pink that you done wrote yourself some books. That is amazing. And that must mean the two of y'all read really well, huh?
Yes.
You gotta be a good reader to be a good writer. That is very good. And don't ever let anybody tell you just because you're young that you can't do stuff. You go on. You keep on going. You write yourself another book and another book. You just keep going. Because I just love it when young people take initiative and they get themselves going and they do marvelous things. I know you done heard this before, that young folks is our future. Because you know what? I'm old. And Henry, oh Lord, I had to save Henry from the Thanksgiving, Christmas, autumn season. Folks want to try to eat my buddy Henry. And he's old. He the old chicken. But y'all young chicks, y'all can do a lot of stuff. Y'all just keep on going. I'm so proud of you. Did I miss any little people that wrote some books?
Yes, Kylie and the Tickle Mites.
Oh, I done met my friend Rebecca before. How you doing, Rebecca? It's so good to
I'm
see
doing
you.
well, Miss Marvels. How you doing? You're looking mighty fine and pink over there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, me and my friend Henry, we done traveled here to be with our good friend Queenie. Queenie is just a doll.
She is.
Yeah, she certainly is.
Miss Marbles, you forgot about Kylie.
Oh,
Kai.
wait a minute.
You forgot about Kai.
I don't want to leave nobody out. Raise your hand. Where you at?
Raise Miss Marbles.
Oh, isn't she just as cute as a speckled pup? Tell me about the book you done wrote, honey. Where's your book? You wrote a book? Let me see. What's the name of it, sweetie?
The little letter K and the boring alphabet line.
Oh my heavens. I remember when Miss Queenie told me about your book. I bet you an A student in school, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
I could tell. Look at that pretty smile. You all look so good. Did I leave anybody else out? You welcome, sweetie. Miss Becca, who's them little people behind you there?
These are Tickle Mites. The Tickle Mites are here.
The Tickle Mites.
Tickle Mites, yeah.
Ticklish. I bet I haven't read your book, but I bet you it's a good book.
It is, if I may say so myself. It's a good book.
You know what? I got a good friend. Her name's Ro. She done wrote a couple of books herself. And you know what? Ro used to be a teacher too. She taught young kids, old kids, little kids, middle school kids. And wait a minute, let me see. So is it Toshia? I was flying in from Kalamazoo and I missed the first part of your presentation. But Toshia, your book sounded marvelous because my good friend Ro, she writes books very similar to yours. She always says that it's okay to be different because you know, me and Henry, well, we are a little bit odd, just a little bit odd. She done wrote 2 books, but she gonna share with you the one book that she wrote. She wrote The Box of Red Marbles and The Royal Storyteller. Now, my book is about a bunch of little kids in a classroom, and they were in a special ed classroom, and they were being picked on too, Toshia. They were being bullied. Folks wasn't being too nice to them. And all of a sudden, the teacher called them in, and she done found a box of red marbles in the back of her supply closet. And them little kids got to looking at them their marbles, and all them marbles was red. And all of a sudden, they found a purple marble. And they held that marble up to the light, and they discovered that marble had a little streak of yellow. And they said, you know what? This marble is prettier than all them old red marbles. And guess what they discovered? They discovered that they was kind of special too. So I really, really like writing books when kids learn how special they really are. So my friend Ro Brady, she got this here book on Amazon. And if you want to buy the book, go on over to Amazon and look up Ro Brady. And guess what? She's got, because she was a teacher, she done retired years ago. She also wrote the study guide to go along with the book. And the study guide got a lot of fun activities for some great kids. It's on Amazon. I hope your baby maybe look at it. It's a really good book. Look up Ro Brady on Amazon. She got a bunch of stuff up there. Yes, she do. But the last thing I want to say to my little young folks, don't let nobody tell you what you can't and cannot do. You just keep on going. And Mrs. Marbles and my little friend Henry, we're very, very proud of you. And we want to be able to encourage young folks whenever we can. So you just keep yourself writing. Keep writing. All right? Thank you, Miss Queenie, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mrs. Marbles and Henry. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next, we have Teresa. Teresa, tell us about yourself, your books, and where we can purchase them.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Well, I am Teresa Makowitz, an author, but I'm also trying to be Mrs. Sunshine. And as you can see, I have my sunshine in my heart because I too was a teacher, and I saw what you saw, the other teachers, that there were certain things missing for these kids. And being a special ed teacher, you want to pick up their self-esteem, you want to love them as much as you can. Then I am not a teacher anymore, and I'm a full-time author, and my husband is in the active Coast Guard, so we transfer every 3 years. We're somewhere else, you know. But so I started writing scribbles because I really want to stay true to my passion for these kids and love them the way they need to be loved. So I did write scribbles, and I won. Yes, you can see it. Okay. I won 2 awards on it for the Children's Mind, Body, and Spirit, 1 International Book Award, and 1 Best Book Awards. So that was really exciting because I didn't know that this was another adventure for me. That was back in 2017. I feel very blessed. And if you look at some of this is my artwork. I actually illustrate my own work. And I have a little girl right here. You can see she's just really upset because, you know what? School is hard sometimes. And it's okay that it's hard, but we still have to get through. And that's where Mrs. Sunshine comes in. She kind of pulls them along, you know, and she says, hey, Scribbles, it's okay that math is hard, but we still have to get through. And we have her trying very hard, you know, and she's just going to give up. And Mrs. Sunshine comes in, and she too has a frog that she loves. And Mrs. Sunshine always says, you know, just remember, close your eyes and dream, and you'll get there. And so that is my story. It's an inclusion story about a little girl. And I have a frog just like your chicken. I love it. And my frog is fancy, and I made like even little dolls, you know, for the kids to hold on to squeeze when they're upset and they have a problem. I also made, which they're not for purchase right now. I want to make sure that they're safe and everything. But I also have dolls, and this is Mrs. Sunshine, and we have squirrels as my puppets. Because the kids can usually talk through dolls and sometimes to an adult, right? And so therefore, that's why I created them. So hopefully I can help children that way. And right now, I'm just excited because I actually am on online Target, Walmart, Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, Kmart, and that's exciting for me because it's a whole new adventure. I'm on this adventure with my husband, and we have twin boys who are 13. That's why I was joking with you, Tyrell, right, that I understand the twin thing because I got it in my house. And I twin 13-year-old boys. So it's hard sometimes being a twin, but sometimes it's awesome. And it's your best friend, and sometimes you're like, ugh, you know, and I understand that because I have it here. So that's really what I'm about. I'm really just trying to give love and trying to give it through my book and to talk about it's okay to struggle, but you still have to go and do this, and it's okay, you know. And just because you draw and you can't figure it out doesn't mean that you're dumb or anything like that. It just means you're processing different, and that different is okay, you know. And that's where Mrs. Sunshine comes in, and she pulls them through. So I keep writing books, and I want to keep pushing them out. So that's my mission. So.
Teresa, can you tell us who Mrs. Sunshine and Scribbles are?
Okay, so Mrs. Sunshine is based off of me as a teacher and my former teacher. God bless, she's up in heaven right now. She was my teacher who helped me through a lot of stuff where I needed that extra TLC, right, in school. And my Mrs. Sunshine was amazing. And actually, there's a certain times that we actually shared the same students, and we laugh. I'm like, oh, did you see that kid? And we just joke about it. So that's where Mrs. Sunshine comes from. It's really her and I merging together, and she was all about love and making sure that these students, no matter who, had love and help. And that was really what I needed as a kid. And that, you know, I think right now we're kind of lacking, and I hate it. And I really hate it big time. And so right now what I'm trying to do, and, you know, fingers crossed, please pray for me. I'm writing a whole series. I wrote a whole series of 10 episodes to submit to PBS. I'm on week 13, going on week 14. I want to be that Mr. Rogers, but only be Mrs. Sunshine, because I think these children need it, number one. Number two, we need to hear this, you know, and I promised her before she passed away that I was going to try to do this, and she passed away from cancer. But she was the one who first believed in me and my writing abilities. And like you little kids, right? I started in 6th grade, and I didn't want to stop, but I didn't think I could get anywhere. So you're very lucky that you have people to help you get to where you are, okay? Because, you know, I used to just write in my room and, you know, but I didn't have that extra TLC, or they didn't understand, I should say. But, you know, that's big. But Fancy is just a frog that I named because I wanted kids to have a love frog, you know that they're okay, and then they can hug the frog if they needed to. They're having a rough day, it's okay. I had a student, actually not a student, my friend's child would always take out my book at the in Virginia, and I said, oh yes, son is so cute. He always takes out my book. He always helps me, right, pulling around. And she said, well, you know, when he has a tough day, he takes your book, rereads it, takes a deep breath, and then he can start again. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm about. And I'm really trying to make that magic happen on the screen for PBS, make that magic happen for these kids. So that's what I'm trying to do. Trying.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Teresa.
Thank you. And if you wanted to purchase my book, which I appreciate, I do have these, like you said, Ms. Biddle, right? Yeah. I do have like a little elastic band, like bracelet, that I will give to you if you purchase it off of Facebook Live with Queenie. And it really says, dream, you will get there. You know, and it glows in the dark. you know, so it's very important. You know, we need this glow in the dark, right? So this is who I am. And then I have this. So thank you very much for having me, Queenie.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, we have Cameron and Ren. Can you tell us about yourself and your books and where we can purchase them?
Hi, my name is Cameron, and our book is about me.
What's the name of it? The title?
My Magical Brown Unicorn. My book is called My Magical Brown Unicorn, and this book is about me and my unicorn having adventures. And sometimes when my friends aren't around, I put on my magic headband, and she'll come there to spend time with me, and we go on lots of adventures together.
And also with this as well, My Magical Brown Unicorn. Cameron and I wrote this book together, and it came to life because, as you can see, I don't know, she loves unicorns. She's wearing a little unicorn shirt now. Like, she loves unicorns. And so her dad was taking her shopping, and he purchased all of these unicorns. And he was like, I am over unicorns. And I had already taken a 5-day children's book challenge. So I was already starting my own. I've always wanted to write children's books. So I was already into what I was wanting to write. And he came in and he was like, you know what? I'm done buying unicorns. And she was like, well, I can't help it. I love unicorns. And
I do.
She does. And it hit me. And I was like, you have all these unicorns, but I don't see one brown unicorn. You don't see brown unicorns. And as we all know, representation matters. And, you know, unicorns are beautiful and they're these mystical creatures. And I was like, but you love these unicorns and you don't see any unicorns that look like you. So I set the children's book that I thought I was supposed to write first to the side. And this book just kind of poured out of me. And I had her involved every step of the way, from how she wanted the unicorns to look, the colors, the adventures that they went on. So everything is her thoughts and her ideas. And I was just writing it in a rhythmic rhyming formation for her. So this is where this book was birthed from. And since then, I didn't know at the time that it would turn into like a series or anything like that, but we are working on it being a series. And we just finished, which is available. We just finished I just got my proof for it, but it's available on Amazon. We just finished the coloring book for it as well. So there is a coloring book to accompany My Magic. It's okay, baby. It's okay. It's okay. To accompany the book. And I am very big on, another reason why we started writing is because Cameron has been reading since she has been 3 years old. However, due to the pandemic, I noticed that she was reading, but her being at home, I was able to really see some hands-on things that she was facing challenges with, aside from her just going to school every day. And one of the challenges that her and her teacher and I noticed is that her reading comprehension. So reads with no problem. She can sound out the largest words, reads with no problem. But when it came to understanding and answering those questions about the book, it would be like, you know, she didn't grasp that concept. So even before we started writing the book, me and her would take our time and I would just have her create like a 4 or 5 sentence story paragraph, just so she could connect. Oh, wait, if I write my own stories, I know what happens in this story. And she can make the connection with the books that she read. So that was very important for me. And so we also created a reading comprehension journal for kids to also go along. There's a reading comprehension journal that goes along with My Magical Brown Unicorn. it is still, it should be available soon on Amazon. It is still in the review stages, but literacy is very important. Education is very important for me. So to be able to include her in this writing journey for myself is just, it's wonderful. I've been writing since I've been in 3rd grade. I had a teacher like you, Miss Sunshine, who just inspired me to just, my 3rd grade teacher, like she would let us use our imaginations. And she would let us write stories, and like we would publish them and read them to the class. And so I always wanted to do that. But like, yes, I did. I wrote poems. I write poetry. And every time I wrote, I always noticed she would have a notebook and she would want to write with me. So I was like, you know what a wonderful way to include my daughter. So there are some books, because of the topics that I do the writing mainly, that she's not my co-author on, still children books, but you know, some topics that just a little bit more intricate, so that it would take me to write. But all of the fairy tale and colorful imagination and all those books, she is my co-author on. So yeah, that is how this book and the series came about. Just because I noticed she loved something, but what she loved did not look like or represent her. So I wanted for her to have that representation, and she has a big, colorful imagination. And the little girl in the book, her name is Cam, and she has a colorful imagination as well. Like they take trips to Candy Forest, and they do all great. They play in great puddles. They play in great flavored puddles, and all of those things that they sleep on. Yeah, they sleep in clouds. So all of those things that you would imagine doing as a child, her and her unicorn sugar pie, they do. And yeah, and I look forward to, we've completed the 2nd book. It is not available yet, but this will be a series. And I also am continuing to write other children's books. I have a 1-year-old, he has a book coming out just with ABCs and just the basics, the counting and numbers and things of that nature. So I'm all in. Yes, very creative.
Well,
very
very creative. He is creative.
well, because he's a baby.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
He's very busy.
Yeah, busy. Very busy.
Yes, he is a very busy. He just turned 1. He's very busy. But our books are available on Amazon.com. We do have a website. It is www.royalteapress, and that is ROYALTEEPRESS.com, where you can also find the books as well. Like I said, this one is the first book that is available, but by the ending of December, we will have about 6 books total that will be available for purchase.
All right, Cameron, how old are you and what's your favorite subject in school?
I am 7 years old, and my favorite subject in school is science and writing.
Thank you for coming in today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you
for having me.
You're welcome. Next, we have Sasha. Sasha, tell us about yourself, your books, and where we can purchase your books.
Okay, hey, how's everybody? First, can you hear me? Are you able to hear me? Okay, so you have to excuse me just a little bit because it's a little more complicated for me because of my MS and my vision isn't great. But first of all, thank you, Miss Queenie, for having me here. from the very beginning, I was working hard to get over my nerves because I wasn't quite ready to do this because the on-camera thing, it's not for me. But I currently have 3 books available on Amazon, and they are Uncle Bully, It Makes Sense to Me, which is my current book, and I Think My Mom's a Superhero. And basically, my focus for my books, they're all children's books, they're all kids' books. Here's my book, It Makes Sense to Me. And my focus here is basically just the everyday lives of kids, you know, with I Think My Mom's a Superhero. It's, you know, I kind of want to take parents back to where it's like, I can't get away with nothing. My mama knows it all. She's always there. She knows what I'm about to do before I can even get the thought all the way out. And that kind of came from my sons. They brought the idea to me, even the idea to start writing, because even though I've written for as long as I can remember, writing has always been a hobby to me. The idea to write a children's book or a book period, just any book, never crossed my mind until my son, who is 13, he challenged me. He was like, Mommy, we were watching a movie, and he was like, well, Mommy, that's not the princess. She's not a princess. She's just a frog. And though that is our favorite movie, he kind of challenged me. I was like, well, Mommy, I bet you could do that. And it was simply just an idea until, like I said, I was diagnosed with MS, and my regular everyday job, they kind of put me out like, no, ma'am, we can't deal with you right now. You got too many issues. So I started writing. And although I ran into, I think, every roadblock that you could possibly run into, from not being able to see that well to, you know, not being able to go here and do this and kind of depend on myself for everything. Through it all, I still managed to pull out these 3 books that I currently have available. They're available on Amazon, by the way. They're available for purchase right now. I'm working on my website. I'm working on a website so that you can purchase them directly from me, so that I can personalize each book that I send out that is ordered from me. So then my publisher name is Sasha Array. That's the name. If you type in that on Amazon, it pulls up every book that I have written thus far. And that's pretty much my story. Like, writing has always been like a calming place for me. So to take something that I use as a hobby and turn it into my everyday life, even in the midst of dealing with something so frustrating, I managed to turn it into my life. And hopefully everybody enjoys it as much as myself and my kids do. In my book, It Makes Sense, which is my recent release, it's about a little girl who, you know, like most little kids, it just makes sense to me. You know, adults complicate everything in life, and little kids, they just do what makes sense. Then I have Uncle Bully, where it kind of touches on bullying, but in a playful way, where I speak on a serious matter, but I do it in a way where the bully is somebody who you love and respect, but you just got to get them back. You know, or you got to make that uncle, you have to make your uncle understand, like, I have that courage, I have that strength that you're trying to teach me. And that's what the uncle eventually tells him, like, I'm not upset because you decided to print me back. I'm glad that you stepped into your courage. And that's something that I feel like all of our kids need to realize. And I also, in all my books, there's a father in every book. And of course, the strength of the mother in every book, because that's something that I want all of our young kids, all of our, you know, brown boys and brown girls to understand that it does exist. Regardless of what reality tells you, this really does exist. It happens. It's out there. I want people to know and understand that. The importance of each part of your family and everything that you go through is normal. You're not the only kid who does what kids do. You're not the only kid who hides socks under your bed and expects your mom not to find them. You're not the only kid who it just, who thinks that it just makes sense. As well as you're not the only kid who your mama knows everything that you're about to do. Even your dad can't get away with anything without mommy knowing, because mommy knows it all. I mean, coming from a mom's perspective and then dealing with what I deal with and having my kids there to support me, it kind of also helped my decision to go ahead and go on with this writing thing, because if I can do it with all my whatever, they can do it. Whatever it is you set your mind to, you can do. And that's kind of what I want kids to see and understand in my writing. It's fun. They're all picture books and they're all full colored and things of that nature. It all makes sense to kids. And that's what I want everybody to understand. It makes sense. So that's pretty much it.
Sasha, what is the age group for your books?
Well, it makes sense. I would say the age range there is about from as soon as your child is old enough to listen to about 8 years old. And then my other two books, they're around from about 8 to 12, 13 years old.
And where can we purchase it?
You can currently purchase the books on Amazon. They're available and up for order now. And I'm working on a website, and it will be arrasedream.com. I'm currently working on that one, so you can purchase directly from me. That's where you can purchase my books.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, next is Matt. Matt, tell us about yourself, your books, and where we can purchase your books.
Can you all hear me? Yeah, okay, thanks. Well, my name is Matt Bell, and I went ahead and I changed my name on this to mattbellbooks.com. Can you all see that? Okay, and then here's my card. So if you just, well, let me tell you a little about I'm a father of 9 children, very diverse kids. And I have, my oldest daughter is special needs. She's African-American. I have 3 children from Mexico. I am Irish Jewish. So we're just one big blended family. And we've had, lots of questions about where we all came from. We're Christians, and I love the one story that I think I told you I already purchased. God Has a Paintbrush. I think that's awesome. And so I just always was telling stories to the kids, and I started writing them down a couple of years ago. And so I have 3 books out right now. My 4th just got accepted by the publisher, and I just finished my 5th. They're all the same. First one is called The Rounders and the Tallers. And if you notice, I've got a very diverse group of people right there. Basically, in all my books, you can see yourself from Pacific Islanders to African Americans to Hispanic people, whatever, just like our population. I also have a second book called The Jellies and the Crunchers. So there's Tallers and the Rounders, the Jellies and the Crunchers. My 3rd book came out 3 weeks ago. It's called Crazy Cats from Outer Space. Because I love cats, and then my 4th book just got accepted, and it's the Greenheads and the Redheads. So in all my books, there's two groups of people. They're in some form of conflict because of misunderstanding. And in the end, a brave boy or girl brings the community together. I wrote these books before all the problems of 2020. It just worked out that way. The this book in particular has been used in the Jewish community to teach children about how religious segregation occurred. And it also teaches Americans. It's a great way to teach kids. It's how I taught my kids how segregation occurs. Basically, real quick, there's two types of people in this. There's the rounders and the tallers. One group gets a chance to start making rules, and they basically say that if you wear a coat, you can't go to the beach. If you wear a coat, you can't go to the park. Then finally, one day it was you can't go to school. And one little brave boy figured it out. He said, well, I'm just going to take my coat off. And because historically in their group, no one ever took their coats off, they hadn't thought about it. And then so the whole group took their coats off, and it's really just a good way to do it. I have topic questions in all of them. In the Jellies and the Crunchers, there's two groups of people. My kids love this because there's a food fight in here. There's kids that only eat crunchy crackers, and a whole population. And there's a whole group of people, all colors, all races, that only eat sticky jelly. And they don't like each other at all because they're not eating the same type of foods. And they end up having a big food fight. And you can imagine the food got mixed. Remember those old commercials about you got chocolate in my peanut butter? That kind of thing. And then they find out that in the very end, they're all jelly crunchers. They all come together. So, and in Crazy Cats from Outer Space, you've got a planet that has two types of cats, the jumpers and the thinkers. And there's a major conflict, and one group sends the other group off the planet, and they land on Earth. And this is about appreciating what you have until it's gone. So my fourth book, I don't have the book done yet. It's at the printer right now. Very similar. It's always about bringing diverse groups of people together. It's on Amazon. I'll just take a minute to tell you why I wrote it. Obviously, people look at me. I'm obviously Irish. I'm very tattooed Irish man. And then we walk into Target, and I'm holding my daughter's hand, who's African American. My other daughter's hand is obviously Hispanic, and we don't see color, but our community does. And it doesn't matter. It's just something we've always dealt with. And so I was driving to the beach. We live in Texas. We live 2.5 hours from the beach, and we love going to the beach. And when we got down to the beach in Corpus Christi that we go to, there's one beach that is owned by the county and one's owned by the city. And there's a line, and the rules on this side of the line are different than the rules on that side of the line. You know, like you can drink on this side, but you can't on this side. Your dog has to have a leash on this side, no dogs on that side. It's just like a man-made line, but the beach doesn't care. And one day I was watching all the kids play, and my mind went back to thinking, you know, if this was 60 years ago, there'd be another sign. Colored's not allowed. And I actually went in and I found out that there was a sign for the beaches in Texas where it said there was a certain beach where there were no people of color allowed. And I thought, as I watched my children run around, 4 of my 5 children, it would be illegal for them to be on this beach 60 years ago. So I decided to write a book about it, and that's The Rounders and the Tallers. And I just am so glad we've come so far. I know we've got a long way to go, but that's why I wrote the books. They're available on Amazon. I set up my own website. It was very expensive. And I would just say, if you're thinking about doing that, you're going to have ongoing fees you got to think about. And then you have to actually send the books out. There's postage. I've just found to take the hit. And it turns out the more books you sell on Amazon, the more money you make. I mean, you don't make as much as you would doing it yourself. But so you can go to Amazon, look up the Jellies and the Crunchers, or the Rounders and the Tallers, or Matt Bell Books. And I would love for you guys to support me and buy some books. And I've already bought 3 of your books, so this is awesome. I have 2 grandchildren, and what I do is I just have Amazon automatically ship people's books straight to them. So mattbellbooks.com, you can go there, and it'll take you to all 3 of my books. And I have a 5th book that I just finished called The Easties and the Westies. And it's about the same group of people that live on an island, but they're geographically cut off. So they don't like each other because they can't see each other. And they make up lies about each other. And then one day there's a change in the island and they end up finding out they're the same exact people. And that's about what's going down on the southern border. Because in Texas, we have a huge Hispanic population, a border, and then a Mexican population. And just because there's a wall, everybody's different. And so that's why I wrote that book. So anyways, I really enjoyed meeting everybody, and I love you, Miss Queenie. You're awesome.
Thank you, Matt. Where do you get your creativity from? I see that you're an artist. Did you do the illustrations in your book, or did someone else?
No, I specifically, the same author did all of these books, and I specifically wanted one look for all my books. And so we got an illustrator out of South Carolina. Like, here's the food fight going on. And the one common thing about all the books is none of my individuals have ankles or wrists when you get to look at it. But in each of the book, I put Easter eggs. So if you read the Jellies and the Crunchers, you're going to find stuff from the Tollers and the Rounders. And there's all these little Easter eggs that I've been putting in. Like everyone has a sheriff and a mayor, except for the cats. And but I'm not creative enough to draw my own illustrations, but I have a great team that does that for me.
All right, thank you so much.
Bye.
Lavetta, can you now hear us?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Go ahead and tell us about yourself.
Wonderful to be heard. All right, very good. My name is Lavette Shirley Ely, and I am originally from Tucson, Arizona. I'm currently residing in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I am a medical provider. I'm a PA. I currently am working in urgent care, which means that I'm exhausted right now. So bear with me. I will show you guys, if you're able to see, here's my card here. I do have a website at lselycreations.com. My email, l.s.elycreations@gmail.com. So as I said before, I am an urgent care PA. So that is where my first book actually stemmed from. I was seeing children in the urgent care, and they come there and they are absolutely terrified. And I'm sure that most of your children who are on this call right now would be terrified to go see me, if they were sick or not feeling well right now. So I wrote a book about it because I really wanted to address their fears. So my first book, I saw my PA today, is about a young girl who has an injury while she's having a good day playing outside. And she actually has to go to the urgent care to see a provider. So she sees a PA. She has a very good visit. She's initially obviously terrified, but she realizes that we're there to help her, and she ends up having a great visit. So this is written for children. Obviously it is a children's book, but it's important for adults too, because you see, this fear really does translate to adulthood as well. So while a lot of us have these fears as children, we continue to have these fears as adults. So if we address this early, then I feel like we can hopefully get adults to go to the doctor earlier, because preventive medicine is so important. Okay. So my second book, which is actually one of my favorites, is called Remarkably You, Remarkably Me. So if you see, my theme really ultimately is just empowering children in any way I can. So right now, as a lot of us have talked about, our books are about unity and unifying each other. So it is so important, especially as for young girls, to understand the importance of self-confidence and understand who they are, where they fit into society, and understand that nobody can tell them that they cannot be whomever they choose to be. So I wanted to focus on that. But when we talk about unity, then once we take that and once we understand how important we are, then we need to turn that around to other young girls and women and let them know how important they are. So I wrote this book, Remarkably You, Remarkably Me, which is actually an affirmation poem for young girls. And I really do enjoy it. So I want to read just a little bit of it to you guys. Okay. So remarkably you, remarkably me. I am beautiful. I am radiant. I am lovely, unique. I am brilliant. I am exceptional. I am gifted, chic. I will not be hindered by fear. I will not be hindered by doubt. I will triumph over anxiety. I will triumph even without support, and even without aid. My gaze will remain forward, never back. My confidence will never be swayed. I will not make myself small to fit in. I will not stop because I am afraid. I will stand up tall and hold up my chin. I will not let my sparkle fade. I am not too big. I am not too loud. I am not too bossy. I am not too proud. My intelligence is not a threat. I am who I am intended to be. I am like no one you have ever met. I am remarkably me. And so that's just a small excerpt from the book. And I think it's just so important because I struggled with confidence as a young girl. So really my goal in that book, ultimately is to make sure that young girls understand their place, that they are important, that they are beautiful, that they are unique, they are different, and all of that is okay. So my books can be purchased on Amazon right now. I am working with Barnes & Noble to get them in there as well. So hopefully that works out. And you can visit my website at lselycreations.com. I am a blogger. So if anybody wants to be featured on the blog, just email me. I've featured several authors and it's just an exciting time. There's also a little shop on there as well if you guys need to do some Christmas shopping. So, and that's my story, and that's, where I'm at right now.
All right. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Okay. When going to the doctor, what's one piece of advice you would give to a parent of a young child?
Yeah, I think that it's the biggest piece of advice that I can give is do not try to instill fear in your child when telling them that you're going to go. So don't say things like, if you don't listen, then I'm going to have the doctor or PA give you a shot. Parents do that all the time to try to get to control their children, and all it does is increase their anxiety and fear. So whenever I hear that, I always say, I am not going to give you a shot. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you and not hurt you. So that's probably the most important thing that you can do. Secondly, just be vulnerable with them as well. Let them know if you have any fears. If you have a fear of going to the doctor, our PA, let them know it's okay. So they understand that my mom and dad, they have these fears just like I do. It's perfectly natural, but it's something that I have to do. So they'll go and make that something that they do regularly.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Nice to meet everybody.
Next, we have Ray. Ray, can you tell us about yourself, your books, and where we can purchase your books?
Well, my name is Ray Rankin. I live in Northern California, just kind of outside of Sacramento, the capital. I have written actually 6 books. I just released my 6th book about a week or so ago. I started writing, I've been writing forever, but I was really focused on writing in the professional world, and then came along, we moved to Washington for a while, and I helped a friend publish his book, and I thought, well, I can do that too. And so I was trying to come up with some ideas, and I ended up with my first book, which is called Cowgirl Lessons. This book was actually inspired by my daughter, she's now 15, but at the time she was 6. And she was taking lessons on this really sweet little Arabian pony. And so I wanted to share that connection that kids have with horses, that it's not just the riding part, it is the cleaning of the stall and the brushing, the combing on all that.
And so that's how that book got started. And I went on to write 2 other horse books. So I have Cowgirl Christmas, which is about sharing at the spirit of at the holiday time, where the equestrian team, they've collected gifts and now they're going to take them out to the community and give them to people in need. And it's kind of fun because they, like looking at this, so like they go out and they're singing Christmas carols and things like that. And then the last book, this one's kind of fun in the horse series, is Cowgirl and the Ghost Horse. And it's really this girl, she's got to be brave and strong, and she's trying to find this legendary ghost horse, but it's not quite what you think, but I'm not going to spoil it. So, and these 3 books have just won awards. This Cowgirl and the Ghost Horse was named Best Children's Short Story at the Equus Film Festival. The 2 other books won last year, Best Short Story and Best Christmas Book. And so that's kind of where those came from. And then my other books have to do with family adventures outdoors. So I started with Beach Day, a little girl and her dog on the beach and all their fun adventures, you know, flying kites and doing things like that. All my books are told in rhyme, which is very difficult, as all you writers know. This one is called Mountain Girl. They go up to a certain mountain area and they have all these fun outdoor adventures. And I just released the sequel to that called Mountain Winter. So they're back up in the mountains having adventures in the snow. And that's where all my books are. So they kind of come from me and my family.
What inspired the Cowgirl series?
It was definitely my daughter and her horse, her lesson horse. The lesson horse I found out had passed away. So I kind of wanted to honor that memory. And so that's really where the inspiration for those books came from. And all my books are found online at www.rayrankin.com, and it's R-A-E, Rankin, RANKIN.com. Also on Amazon and your favorite independent bookstore.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, everyone. That concludes the Children's Author Showcase. I appreciate all of you. And there are books out there. So please go Cash App, call, inbox them to get your children's book today for Christmas gifts. Christmas is only a week and a half away, I think. So get your books today. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day. Bye.